Hello everybody, this is Maggie. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you everybody. Thank you to my subscribers and welcome to the newcomers. Thank you for being here. We are going to create this beautiful table runner. I have created this flower in the last tutorial a few days ago. And it's on the listing, on my listing channels as the yellow flower. So we are going to create this beautiful piece, and you can make a choice. You can start off by the edge. You can start that first, work your way around the flower and do one section, because this is done by 3 sections. Half, the one edge, half of it. Then you have the center, which has no flower, obviously to have, your decoration on the table put in the middle, or you can do also with no flowers at all and just very simple. This is off-white color, so there's no number on the row, okay? And this table runner takes, if the off-white, 300 grams of yarn, just to let you know. So we're going to need 2 sides of the table runner. So we have the 2 sides that we are going to need. So it's by section. You're going to do one side, and then you're going to do exact same thing the other side, because then we need to attach it into the center piece, which is this here. So you can make your choice. It doesn't matter where you start first. You can start here or you can start by the middle. We're going to have to join it anyway, either by stitching it or by crocheting it like I did. It's on the tutorial and you can check it out. Guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. I really appreciate it. It helps us to grow the channel. Now, we are going to start by, let's say the one here with, okay, everybody. So we're going to start by doing the pattern on the flower. Now, you have to pay attention not to miss any of these loops back here to add the pattern on. Now, the flower, there's a tutorial on it already, on this flower, which is the yellow flower. And the only thing I did to it that I didn't put on the tutorial was to add these purple leaves on it. But very simple. These purple leaves, you can find them on the carnation tutorial flower. And I've added these in between the green leaf and the petal, the yellow petal, in between them. So if it's too confusing for you, leave it on the comments and I will show you how I added onto them. But if you can do it on your own just by looking at it here, which I did 5 stitch, 8 stitch, 5 stitch, and then I did 1 stitch separation, and I've attached it in the middle here, and then 1 stitch separation, and again back here underneath this petal, and then again 5 stitch, 8 stitch, and 5 stitch. So I did it all the way around to give it more charm to the table runner that I'm doing for a client of mine. She asked me to decide on my own which one I should do, so I've decided to come up with this one. Okay, so we're going to get started on it. We're going to make a little knot. And we're going to go and add back here Now you're going to go in between the yellow in the back and not the green, because we don't want it to show. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to make little groups and single stitch. So we're going to do 3 back here on the same place, 3 chain. I'm going to make a group of 3 again on the same place, like that. We're going to do 1 separation, and we're going to go into the middle one of the paddle here in the back. Oops. And then again 1 separation, and we're going into again back here and grab the yellow in the bottom where it connects here, and we are gonna, whoops, it's a little bit hard to start off, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be okay. Okay, so now we have 2 of them. 1, 2, 1 separation again, and we're going just in between, not the middle, but 2 before it. We need to have 5 of these. 1 separation, and we're going in the middle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 1 more, 1 separation, and we're going to grab next to the other, between the other 2 stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 separation, and now we go in between the 2 paddles, and we're going to make another group of 3 chain. Okay, so it's going to look like this. One separation, and we go into the middle, in between the middle of the paddle, and we need to make another group of 3. So in total we need 13 groups of 3, because this here is going to be the straight edge. 1, and we go into the middle here of the next paddle on the yellow in the bottom. 1, 2, and 3. 1 separation, and we go into the middle one here from the back in the bottom. So we're gonna have, like I said, 13 groups, including this one we started. So this is 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until we meet here again. So we're doing the 13 one on the last middle leaf. And we're going to close it with 1 stitch like that. So you're supposed to have 13 of these in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 5 single ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you find that it's too close together, you can put in the middle, spread it out. But even though it stays like this, it doesn't matter, because when you do the second row, it's already going to spread out. This is hidden behind it, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. Now we're going to go to the middle here, and we're going to make 3 chain on the same place, and then 2 separation, and then 3 more on the same place. 1, 2, same place. 1, 2, 3. So in the middle of the 3 group we just finished doing, we're going to do 3, because we need to have it the same way like here. As you can see, you can't even see the bottom stitch, so that's why I told you don't worry about it if they're too close together or not. But if you see it's too close, you can spread them out. It's not a question of how many stitches here and there, because it will be hidden underneath the leaf anyway. Okay, so now we're in the chains. I'm going to do 1 stitch, and we're going to go into the next space. We're making the squares. 1 stitch into the next space. 1 stitch into the next space. 1 stitch into the next space. 1 stitch again. Stitch and the last space, and 1 stitch, and we're going to go into the middle again of this bottom 3. So we're going to make 3 chain, 2 groups of 3s in the same space. 1, 2, and again on the same space. So as you can see, this is the flat part that's going to be added onto the pattern. No space. Next, into the middle. One, 2. I'm going to do that all the way around until the edge here. I'll meet you at the end. So we're on our last one. We'll go to the 3rd chain. I'm always off camera. Horrible. Now, walk through the middle so you don't see the stitch. When you're walking to the middle, it's going to give you exactly the same stitch as you have here. Not noticeable. 1, 2, 3 up. And again, we're going to create these groups inside of the same thing. 1, 2 separation. Okay, one separation always into the squares. And into the next group, and we create the same thing. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so we did the squares, we're here. We're going to do one separation and do repeatedly the same thing. Two separation on the same place. Again, another group of 3 chain. And we're going to do this all the way around until here again. So in the loop 3, 2 separation, 3, 1 chain separation, and again, repeat all the way around. So we reach the end. We go on our third one. We close it in. We walk in the middle of the stitch here, so it won't be shown. 1, 2, 3. We're doing the same thing, creating these little groups of 3s, always. 2 separation. And it's going to be the same row. The only thing that's going to change is the amount of chain separation between the paddles. So the only thing that's going to change is here. We're creating the same thing all the way around, exact same thing. But here, instead of being 1, we're going to do 2 separation. Okay? Okay, so I was saying 2 separation, but sometimes people have a very tight stitch, like myself, depending upon the yarn too. So we have 1 separation, the first one here. I said to put 2, but you can put 3. Okay, so it doesn't tighten up too much. For the people that have tight stitch, it's not an issue. Put 3 on there, separation, okay? And if your stitch is too loose, then put 2. 1, 2, 3, and go into the next loop. Okay? And we're going to do that all the way around. Okay, guys, so we've closed up the 3 stitch one. I went ahead inside of the loops here, created my next row, my squares, and I'm here. Now we're going to do 5 stitch separation all the way around the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your stitch is too loose, then do 4. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. It's going to be the same thing. It's the next row that's going to change a bit because we're going to close all of these. We're going to close all of these loops out, like here. So the last one, which is the next one after this, we are doing this row. We're going to close this out. Right now we're on here. Okay, so follow through, 5 stitch separation, same thing, and then you attach it at the end. I'll meet you at the end on this side once you close out, and we're going to come here. Okay, so we've closed out, went on the next row, we started the next row, we did our little blocks, we are here, and now we're going to tie them together. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, come on your third loop down here, stretch it up. Don't tighten it too much so it can have enough space to be loose. 1, 2, 3, and we continue on. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. So not complicated at all. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So you count 1, 2, 3. So you know it's 3 that you have to bring into your needle. Loosen it up. And we're gonna have it like this. So we're doing it all the way around, the same thing. I'll meet you at the end and we'll start. I'll meet you here. So you're gonna close and walk your way through the other edge. Okay guys, so we've closed out. I've started the next row. Same thing, 1 separation on the squares. Same thing on both edges. Now here, we're going to do 9 stitch separation. 2, 3, 4, 9. So we've done the 9. We go into the next loop and we just close it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Same thing. Close it like that. And we're going to do that all the way around until here. Because we need to do, well, it's already there. Okay, so we're going to do the 9th stitch and close it here. And then we'll meet again on this one here. Okay, so 9 separation, just hook it in. 9 separation, hook it in until all the way around until here. Okay, so we've closed out the 9. We walk through the stitch here to the middle and we started the next row. So we're here now. This is very simple, not complicated at all. So what are we going to do? We are going to go on our first stitch here and we're going to do 9 stitch, right? Because we did 9 chain. We're going to do inside of it. You can do it outside if you like, but I don't think it looks as charming as perfect. So I like to do it in the inside on each chain. So from here, we go right into the first one and we do 9 chain on top of the bottom one, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now on this one here, we're just going to do 1 chain in the middle and we continue on making the 9 chain inside of the other ones. So you do the same thing repeatedly all the way around. So you got to make sure you get every single one of them, not to miss out any stitches, because we will need them for the next row, or else the counting will not match. So we continue and we do 1 stitch, 1 chain over this one here. So 9, and then 1 chain in the middle, and then 9 until the end. I will meet you at the top. Okay guys, so we finished adding here. We walked through to the middle. We did our 3, 3. We did our squares. We are here. And now we are going 1, 2. We're going to go on our first one, and we're going to create next one and next one. One, 2, skip 1, 2. On your third one, create another group of 3, chain. One, 2, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do this all the way around till the end of this row until here. You're supposed to have 24 of these little groups. Okay, so make sure that you have 24 of them. Meet you at the end. Okay, guys, so we finished doing the little squares here. Now, when you get to the end, if there's 1 or 2 left over, don't worry about it. That's normal because of the stitches that we've done. So you just go right over it. Okay, as long as you have the 24 of these, then we're okay. Now we continue on, and we get to here, and we do 3 stitch. Okay, so we do 3 stitch, and one, 2 separation. We're gonna make those little groups again. We're gonna do these little groups again. 1, 2, and again. One, 2 separation. One, 2. And we're going to do this all the way around. We are creating the same groups as we did in the bottom. One, 2. So we're pretty much creating these same groups again. It's like we are here. Sorry, it's like we are here. We're doing this group again. So we have 1, 2, 4 rows to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are on our first, so we have 3 more rows to go. So we're doing 2, and then 3, and so on. Meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, so we finished doing this row. Don't forget to put your 3 stitch here at the end. Go through these loops here. Create your next row. Do your squares, 1 separation. And we are on this row. So after we do this here, we did 3 here. Now we're going to do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to the next, and we're going to repeat the same thing all around. So it'll be same things. The only things that change is on the chain. So we did 2 here. We're going to do 3. If it's too tight, do 4. 1, 2, 3, So you can see that this one is looser, right? So I did 3. It's a little bit too tight, so I'm going to do 4. So we're going to do 4 separation. And if you're too loose, then do 3 separation. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is as you're continue on, you're going to notice that your pattern starts crumbling up, shrinking a bit, right? When we look at it, let me just bring it down. So when we look at it like this, it looks like it's all wrinkled and shrunk up. You don't have to worry about it, because once we give it a nice little stretch, and I'm going to show you at the end how we're going to compress it, so it can be all nice and evened out. And I've mentioned on the other video, if you're in the US or Canada, or maybe in your country you have it, but I know US and Canada have it, they can starch, that you put over men's colored shirts. You can spray it and iron over it, and it's just going to be nice and stiff and straight out. Now, for some of you in some countries don't have that canned starch, I'm gonna teach you at the end how we're gonna do it to have it nice and straight and stretched out by ironing with the cotton material over damp. And we're gonna pass the iron over it, so it's gonna be nice, and at the same time we're stretching as we're passing the iron. But at the end I'll show you how to do it. So anyway, let's continue on. So we are over here, so we're gonna do this whole row again. The same thing, 3, 2 separation, 3 on the same, 4 separation, and so on. I'll meet you. So close up, go up the next row, and I'll meet you at the end over here. Okay, everybody, so we finished doing our row. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 rows here with these stitches. So now we're gonna close them up like we did on the bottom ones here. Remember? Okay, so now we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually 4, sorry. 4, and we're gonna come in. Hold on a minute. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss something here. Thank God I looked. We are not closing up yet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we have another row to do. Actually, we have 2 more rows to do. We have this one and then the close-up one. So we're repeating the same thing again. 2 separation. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next one. So we're going to have 5 separation, 5 stitch separation in between each group. And it's going to be repeatedly the same until the end. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go into the next one. So we're going to do the same thing all the way around until the end here. and then you would close it up and go through until here, and I'll meet you here. So we then gonna close it up on the next one. Okay, you guys, so we finished making this row of 5 stitch here. We went up, we did our squares, and we did this one here. Now we're gonna close it in. We're gonna close all 3 of these in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Take on your third one, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to leave this loop out. So stretch it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't tighten too much. And we're going to do the same thing all the way around. Until the end of the row. 1, 2, 3, 4. On our third, 1, 2, 3. Stretch it a bit, loosen it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. We're going to do this all the way to the end. We're going to do it all the way to the end here. Okay, and I'll meet you on the next row, going up, and I'll meet you here again. Okay, you guys, so we finished doing the last row here. Now I went up to the next one. So basically we have the last groups to do like these, and then we're done with the pattern. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows to do, and we're finished. We're gonna cut our yarn. So I've already went up one. Another thing I wanted to mention, in your squares you got to make sure that you have equal squares on one side in the center piece to the extension, and then on the other side. So you have to have the same amount in order to stitch in. Okay, so gonna give you an example. I have 20 on this side, so I need to make sure I have 20 on this one too in order to fit the centerpiece. If you're short by 1 or 2, you could always add, just go on top of one loop and make a square, and go in the middle, make another square. And if you have 1 or 2 extra, that's too much, then you jump from here. You don't go on the first square, you just jump to the next square, and that cuts down on your squares, okay? Because it can happen to make a miscalculation. So don't worry about it. Just as long as you have the same amount on your last row when we are going to finish, you know, you have to have the same amount as you have on this side, which is the other side of the pattern, and on the middle piece. So we can add them together and make one whole pattern, okay? Anyway, just wanted to clear that for you. Now, we are on this row, and we're going to start this row here. So we're starting all over again. We're starting this one here. So we're going to do 4 stitch, okay? So 4 stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go automatically into here. So we're going to create again these four lines of the same stitch. The only thing that's going to change is adding your stitch separation. Okay, so we're going to do 4. The next row we're doing 5 separation. The next row we're doing another 5 separation, and then we will meet at the end. on the 4th row will meet. So we have 1, then we have the next row of 5 separation here, so that's 2. The next row 5 separation, that's 3, and then we'll meet on the 4th row at the end. Okay, so there's no point of me keep repeating it because it's the same thing. 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes too much space on recording, and it's the same stitch over again. So basically we are creating these little mountains again, and we're going to close it out on the 4th row. Okay, so this is our first row of this group, and we have 4 separation. Next, 5 stitch separation. Next, the same thing, 5 stitch separation, and we'll meet on the 4th row. Okay, you guys, I just wanted to show you exactly what I explained to you earlier about the little squares. Okay, so I have one extra over here that will not meet my count of 20. Now, we finished doing the 4 stitch separation. I went up on the next one. I did my squares, and I've counted them to see if it's going to match up, since we have 2 more rows left to do. And it didn't match up, so I have to cut one out in order to match. So here is the last square. I am not going to go in the last square. I'm going to jump the last square, and I'm going into directly into the middle loop. Like this, it will match my 20 little squares that I have to attach to the middle piece of the runner. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that. So now here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I have 18 because I cut down 1. So the next row, which will be the 3rd row from here, will be 19, and then the last row will make my 20 that I need. Okay, so no issues. Just go skip 1 if you have too much, and just go into the next one. So you know you have 2 more rows left to do. You're supposed to have 18 already on here. The next row 19, and the last row should be 20 squares. Okay, just wanted to touch base so there is no confusion. Okay, you guys, so we're on the last row. We finished doing the 4 stitch, 5 stitch separation, 5 stitch separation. So now we're on the last one to finalize. And with this last one, we are going to add onto our pattern already. Some people like to stitch it at the end. Some patterns I do that, and some other ones, if I can get away with it and just add right onto it on my last row, then I do. It saves me a lot of time and work as I'm working the last row. So we're going to do this together. So we created the 3, 2 separation, and on this one here, we are going to attach already the next 3 that we're going to do. We're going to attach it already on this one here automatically. So let me just see if I have my work properly on the right side before there's any errors. Okay, so we do our 2 stitch, right? And we're going to grab it on our first stitch here, pull through, and do our stitch. Now this is optional if you want to do it this way. If not, you can just stitch it on however you want it. So this is the second one, and we're going to grab it on the second one back here. Pull through it, and then we're going to do our 3rd one. So we do our 3rd one, and we're going to attach it to our 3rd one here. So it's not complicated. You just have to pay attention though. One chain, and then two. Okay, so hope you can see what is going on here. Pull it up a little bit more so it gives you an idea. Okay, so we're attaching this part on here. Okay, and we've just attached the first edge on here, these three. Now we went in already. One. Now, in order for the attachment not to appear in front, like I've already attached this one here, once you stretch it out, you can't even see it. Do you understand what I'm saying now? You can see it clearly, it's on this one, because it will show only hardly, but it will show only through the back part. We don't care about the back part, that stays flat on the table. We care about the front part. We don't want it to be too... So it's like as if you're creating another row without creating it. Okay, as you can see here, we leave the little loop out, we leave the little loop out. We only start from here, and then we continue on. Now, in order to do that, we need, for it not to show in front, we need to change our needle. Let's say, okay, let's pull our yarn, and we're going to put our pattern right side with right side. What do I mean by right side with right side? So now the left side is out and the left side on this side is out. That means that your flowers are supposed to be hitting one another in the middle over here, right? Makes sense? In order for it not to show in the back, in the front. So we already did one stitch there. Let's pull our thread together over here. Now, you have to be careful so you don't miss any squares, okay? So we're working back part. Done one, so I stretched out. I'm going into the second one, and I'm going to pull it. One stitch, and into the second hole, second square. Pull my yarn here because this is not good. Okay. Again, we did a stitch. Let's pull from the back inside of the other one, pull our yarn, one stitch into the next one, and do your chain. Again, make sure you keep opening up so you don't miss it, because you have to keep checking, okay? So now, as you can see, we've done this one, we've done this one, we've done this one. Now we're going into this one. Pull one chain into the next one. And they pretty much are going to end up falling into like this, as if it was chain over chain, okay? Next one, same thing, one stitch, and into the next space and make your chain, okay? So as you can see how awesome that is, and we don't have to worry about, you know, going through so much headaches, right? Okay, guys, so we've reached the end of the stitch, and we need to stitch the 3 here together. So what do? We grab it. Actually, hold on. Grab this one here and grab the first one there. So pull right through it. Again, grab the 2 loops here, pull right through, and the other 2. Wish I can focus a little bit more here on the camera. Okay, so we've added the 2 of them. I'm just gonna give one more stitch here just to make sure. Okay, now we're going to continue our work to do. So we've done our stitch. See how beautiful it is? You can't almost hardly see it. And hold on a minute. Now we need to continue and do our stitch here. Okay. So now okay, and I'll do the other 3. So basically it's like as if we actually, you know what, we're gonna add 2 stitch here just to make that loop. I almost forgot about it. So now we do the 3, okay, and we do 1, 2, 3, 4, and close up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do the same thing all the way around. Okay. So nothing to it. And then we cut our yarn. Then we are done. After you have stitched or did like we just finished doing, both sides attached to it, and then we have the edge all around to do, optional if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm gonna do it because it gives a nice charm to the pattern. The finishing is very important to any pattern, so especially if you're doing colors, that's what brings the charm out of the patterns. So 4 stitch, one, 2, 3, 4, and that's pretty much it. We're going to repeat this all the way around, and we're done. Oops. And we're done with the pattern. Like I said, until we are going to finalize all the way around. It's optional if you want to. So basically, this is what it looks like. Okay. So finish doing all the way around, and you can cut your yarn right here at the edge. You can cut it off. Meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so we're at the final touches to go all the way around our pattern to give it that nice little charm. Now, you can use whatever color you want. You can leave it as is. You can use the neutral because this is off-white. You can use the green exactly as we have on the flower, or you can use the yellow also. The choice is up to you. I'm going to use the purple because I think it's going to really outstand on everything since we have only a little bit of the purple on here. Okay, so you make your knot. You can grab pretty much any end. I'm going to grab an end of the flower here where it starts, the beginning, and I'm going to grab it right in the center. Or actually, I'm going to grab here. And we already can hide the yarn here at the edge. So we're just going to go in on each one. Just like that. One inside. Now, you can do this two ways. You can do the 1, 2, 3 and the little loop. And then one inside again. And then go into the next ones and leave it like that, which is gorgeous. Or you can make the same leaves as it is here on the flower, on the edges of every petal. Make sure that I grab enough to hide this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We come in and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We come in and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inside again. And there you have your little leaf like the outside one on the flower. Go to your next one. And it would be the same thing if you're doing the little loops. Here you're going to make 1, 2, 3, go in the middle, spread them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And go inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's really optional if you want. If you don't want, you don't have to. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back in. There you have your little leaves. And then again, 1, 2, and 3, and spread them out. Go in your first one, the next one, and the next one, and one inside, and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again. So it's repeatedly all the way around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back in. So you got these beautiful little leaves. Now, what you can do too, instead of putting the leaf here in the middle, you can leave on the edges. There's so many ways to play with it. And you can do 1, 2, 3, and just leave the little loop there. 1, 2, and 3. So you have it like this, and I think it gives it a nice charm. So you can play as you wish. And then again here you do 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back in. So you can do this in the outside one and leave the little loop just in the middle, and it's exactly what I'm going to do. And then you go through each one by one. 1, 2, and 3. Go in the middle. Do your little loop. 1, 2, 3. Back in the same place. 1, 2, and 3. Next one, next one, next one, and then into the middle. And you spread them out a bit, and this is what it looks like. So go ahead and do it, finish it up. I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll have at the end how we're going to press it, and I'm going to put it out on the table, and you can see what it looks like. So I will see you very shortly with the pressing iron so it can stretch out and you can see how easy it is.